We are live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. Let me go ahead and send a social media blast so everybody knows I'm starting up. Twitterino, check. Blueski, check. Discord, checkity check. Discord, move. Discord, move. There you go. Jesus. Hi, I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Sorry I've been away for a while, but I'm back in the saddle, as they say. I'm going to be doing some coding at the beginning, and as always, at the very end of the stream. If you want to stick around a little longer, you can hop onto Twitch. Give me a follow if you want, and I'll be playing video games at the very, very end. I'm aiming for maybe 3 to 4 hours in this first section. And the main purpose of this coding session is, if you didn't see the title, is that I have a curiosity about MCP tools. I don't know how they work. I know they're fantastic based on how much better they make the experience of vibe coding with Laravel using Laravel Boost, which is basically a collection of MCP tools that give, in this case, Claude AI, like superpowers. They give so much context, so much extra context about my code, and bring a lot of extra tools that make vibe coding in Laravel such a breezy experience. But that brings me to my curiosity. How do they work? I know it's a standard, but I've never seen what happens with an MCP tool. I've never made one. I know there is a library for PHP that allows you to create MCP tools easily, but I want to learn about it. So today I am going to go in completely blind. I have some ideas about where do I want to start, like learning about the concept of MCP, maybe try and reverse engineer at least one of the tools that are used in Laravel Boost. I did a little digging about the code. I glanced it for a while, but I have like an idea of how to analyze that code and have it explained back to me in a way that I can easily or more easily understand it. And I think I'm going to go with this library, this PHP library, PHP MCP, I think it's called, and try to create something very small, something very small, but at the same time practical, something that I can see myself using in a day-to-day basis. Also, I have a bit of an idea of what I want to do. We'll see how much we can accomplish in, say, 3-4 hours. Okay. Again, thank you so much for being here, and let's begin. I'm going to switch screens, and I'm back in Mac, by the way. If you're not seeing Linux, it's because I'm back to my first love, Macintosh. I still have my Linux PC. I use it from time to time. I'm petting it right now. I use it from time to time, but I don't know. Mac is my main driver. I can't help it. I'm a Mac lover. All right, let's start with the concept of MCP. I have a very vague concept about what it is. I know it's a standard. It's a kind of communication uh, between an LLM and a tool that you want to use, maybe Slack, or what other one comes to mind? maybe a web search. I think web search is in itself an MCP tool so that you can give your AI access to the web. But like I said, I have no idea, like no deeper knowledge of the meaning. So I guess we can start by having that explained to us, like if we were 5-year-olds. Am I not in the right keyboard? There you go. Come on. There you go. Let me see how I can assume I know about programming, but I know nothing about MCP standards. Make it short enough for a 5 to 7 minute read, but not. Yeah, that should be enough. Let's see what we get. I like to do this when I don't know anything about anything I want to know. That sounded weird. When there is something I want to know about and I don't know where to start, and I have that paralysis moment where, well, where do I go? Do I go to the documentations? Do I go a Google search, which by the way is just as doing prompt right now. All you get is a prompt at the beginning or an AI response. So I just use AI. I have AI explain it to me, and I find it easier to digest that information in that flavor. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah. One sec. All right. I'll explain MCP model context protocol tools in a way that builds from what you already know about programming. What problems does MCP solve? Imagine you're using an AI assistant like Claude. You want it to help you with real tasks, checking your calendar, reading files on your computer, querying your database, or posting to Slack. But there is a problem. AI models can generate text, but they can't really or directly interact with your systems. They're isolated from your actual tools and data. Traditionally, if you want an AI to access your tools, you need to write a custom integration code for each AI provider, what we commonly know as an API. If you switch from Claude to another AI, you need to rewrite everything. It's like having different charges for every phone. Inefficient and frustrating. Looking at you, Mac. What do we have here? Hamad, you changed your username for some reason. How you doing? Hope you're doing great. So yeah, enter MCP, a universal standard. MCP is like USB-C for AI tools. Again, looking at you, Mac. It's a standard protocol that lets any AI assistant talk to any tool or data source using the same language. Instead of building custom integrations for each AI platform, you build one MCP server that any MCP compatible AI can use. Okay, makes sense. So I can build one tool to do something that is very specific to my workflow, and then I can plug it into any AI that is compatible with MCP, which at the moment, I think everybody is, right? All right, the architecture. MCP has three main parts. The MCP servers, that are small programs you write that expose your tools and data. For example, you might create an MCP server that can query your MySQL database, read and write files in specific folders. I already know what I want to do. Send Slack messages, search your Google Drive, etc., etc. Each server is like a translator that knows how to talk to specific systems and expose its capabilities in a standard way. So I am responsible for what happens inside the tool, but the tool can be used by any AI. Okay. MCP clients. In this case, I'm guessing this is AI. These are the AI applications. Okay, like Claude Desktop, which, by the way, I think I have already installed. Let me check. Yeah, I do. The client discovers what tools are available and manages the connection to your MCP servers. The protocol. This is the standardized communication format between client and server. It defines how to list available tools. Hey server, what can you do? Execute tools. Please run this database query. Return results. Here's the data you requested. How it works in practice. Let's say you want Claude to query your customer's database. You write an MCP server, maybe 50, 100 lines of Python, TypeScript, or PHP that connects to your MySQL database. Should I learn Python? Nah, maybe later. Your server exposes tools like query customers, get sales data. You configure Claude Desktop to connect to your server. One sec. Sorry. Sorry about that. Where was I? Okay, you configure Claude Desktop to connect to your server. Now, when you ask Claude, show me the last month's sales, it can actually query your real database and give you real results. Okay. What is the beautiful part? If tomorrow a new AI assistant supports MCP, it can immediately use the same server you built. No rewrites needed. Write the code once, use it everywhere. I'm already a fan. Reusability, I think we already know what this is. I'm not going to read it again. Real world example. Here's what an interaction might look like. Check if we have any customers from Texas in our database. Behind the scenes, Claude recognizes it needs database access. It calls your MCP server's query database tool. Your server runs the select query. The results are returned through the MCP to Claude. Claude formats and explains the results to you. All of this happens seamlessly. You just need to see the answer. All right. And I think that's pretty much what I want to do. I had the idea, and I don't know if Claude can read minds or not. If it can, it's very scary. But I was already thinking about this. It's not gonna be the same example, but I was thinking maybe create a small project as a practice project. We can vibe code it real quick. It's just gonna be like it's just gonna be a database, basically, because I'm not worried about a UI at the moment. I don't want to create like a chat box of my own that then uses an API to connect to Claude, and then Claude connects to the MCP. I can just add, for now, I can use Claude Desktop and connect the MCP tool to it, and just use the desktop application that can then use my MCP tool to query a database, a fictional database where I have revenue and numbers for a website, for example. I find myself every day making queries about this and that report, and how many revenue did we have for this and that affiliate, and how many clicks did we send to this other customer. And every time that happens, more often than not, I have to write a query from scratch. But if I have all of those queries already, because I have a history of writing queries for the database and I store them because maybe I will use them later, I can just have all of those queries put in a tool, and I can just ask Claude about the thing that I need, and then it can, via the tool, figure out, okay, this is the information you want. Boom, there it is. So that'll be probably the my practice. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I just know what I want to use it, to do it actually. So let me see where we can start first. Mm, maybe we can create a small project. Maybe a small Laravel project that has no UI, and all I want to do is generate a database schema and fill it with test data. The test data is going to be like reporting data, which will look something like, didn't I do this? Is deja vu. Didn't I do this already with another project? I think I did. It's the project that I was working on, right? Hmm. Mm. Let me check real quick. Because if I have that code already, and that code has test data in it, or we can add test data to it, we can use that same database and create a tool, an MCP tool for that database. Problem is, it's in my Linux. Oh no, wait, I already pushed the code, didn't I? It's probably on GitHub. It was job sick, wasn't it? Yay, there it is. I should probably go into my Linux setup and make sure that everything is there. Yeah, let's do that. Let me see if I can quickly connect this. One sec. This might explode. Of course. Why would it work at first? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, cool. Uh, can you? My monitor didn't work. Hello? You are still there. Why can't I see you? I can see it here, but not in my monitor. All right, let's just do it. I'm just gonna be a little uncomfortable for a moment. Uh, this is not the one I wanted. Here it is. Let me check if I have this for sure. Hey, C Films, how you doing? Been doing good. How are you? Database, migration, seeders, analytics demo seeder. There it is. Did I push this already? Doing great. I'm happy to hear. Happy to hear. Oh no, I haven't pushed this yet. Not yet. It's a bunch of things that I haven't pushed. I'm gonna push that right now. Conversion files. So much stuff. You know what I could do so I don't. This is, I think, faster. One sec. Been working on a different project the last few weeks. What have you been working on lately? Not much. Um, I've been off streaming for a few weeks, at least on YouTube, not coding much. I've been just playing games most of the time, every time I go live. But today I'm back in the saddle. I'm just I wanted to learn about them. I wanted to learn about MCP tools and create one of my own, maybe something quick and easy. So that's what I'm doing today. I just want to move this project from my Linux PC to my Mac so I can work on it there. You've been taking a break? Yeah, sometimes a break is necessary. Nothing wrong with that. You have ads? Okay. I'll wait. I'm just doing this push to push to main brand thing. Nothing important. All right, ads should be over now. So you're saying you're working on a new math and statistics focused coding language. That's really interesting. So you're just making a new a new programming language for maths and statistics. I didn't, to be honest, I'm not very math oriented, so it's definitely not going to be my niche, but I can see a maybe there is a niche that you can tap into if there isn't already. But yeah, that's interesting. Good luck with that. All right, that should be a pull request. I'm just gonna merge it. Python. Again, something I don't know about. I should really learn how to code in Python, to be honest. It is very popular when it comes to making MCP tools and AI related stuff. So, and that is a very big gaping hole in my knowledge. So maybe I can take some time and learn how to teach myself and just teach myself how to code in Python. Would be fun. Something new to learn. REPL. What does that stands for? I don't know what REPL means. What's happening here? Read, evaluate, print loop. Oh, okay. Reevaluate. Ah, okay. I was like, yeah, that P and L. I know I'm kind of dyslexic, but it's not where they were. What the heck is going on with this? Merging conflicts. All right. I guess now I'm going to move to Mac again. Eek. Hold on, let me exit this. There is a pull request. Should already be merged. That's good. Thank you, Linux. Go back to sleep. Now, no, wait. It's not git clone, it's git pull. Git clone. There should already be. This should already be initialized with code, but with Claude code, but I'm gonna run init just in case. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. I was wondering. Escape, 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 escape. I did a boo boo. You're building an interpreter. That sounds fun. That sounds like a nice fun project. What are you doing? Okay, he's just making changes. No, I don't want you to do that. I just pulled this from GitHub. Make sure it's properly installed. Oh. I have the wrong PHP version. Let's try that again. New database, new migrations, seeders, npm run build. All right. So that means, can I just use it? Yep. Does it have the admin user though? Probably not. Okay, let's create a new user. Let me just open this real quick in PHP Storm. Where is hurt? Really? Oh my god. Why can't I make it bigger? Oh, come on. How can I forget this already? I'm working on the parts that generates keywords. Okay. All right. Okay, let me check that Cedar database, Cedars, database Cedar. Should be a test example then. Hmm. Did you run the Cedars by any chance? Apparently not. Here we go. There's no data though. Setters are trees? That's my understanding as well. Oh, there you go. Now we have some data to play around with. Okay, that took a minute. So this is the project that we were working on several weeks ago. I'm gonna use this as like a, I'm gonna use this as a practice, as a basic. I'm gonna use the database from this to practice creating an MCP tool that will give me analytics about the data that this project is based on. So we have clicks, we have job postings, we have click through rate, just analytics about the use of the website, conversion rate, search queries, etc., etc., etc. It's going to be something very simple. I don't want to go too deep. Like, once you have a tool that you can use to ask about something simple, like how many active users did we have last week? How many active users did we have today? So let's start by just asking about daily active users. We already have the graph here, so we already have the data. But maybe we can just use Claude to ask about that and have that data be returned to us from an AI prompt. Now, where do we start from here? Hmm. Mm, mm. All right. I know there is a tool that is called. What was the name? Laravel MCP? No, PHP MCP. There's a Laravel one too. Oh. Laravel MCP provides a simple and elegant. Why is this so small? Please give it more size. I thought there was just one for PHP. I didn't know about this one. Provides a simple and elegant way of for AI clients to interact with your Laravel application through the Model Context Protocol. It offers an expressive, fluent interface for defining servers, tools, resources, and prompts that enable AI-powered interactions with your application. How to get started. We install this. We can publish routes. After installing Laravel MCP, execute the vendor publish artisan command to publish the routes AI file where we will define your MCP servers. This command creates the routes AI file in your application's routes directory, which you will use to register your MCP servers, creating servers. You can create an MCP server using the make MCP server artisan command. As always, Laravel always has something to make our lives easier. Why am I surprised? Servers act as the central communication point that exposes MCP capabilities like tools, resources, and prompts to AI clients. This command will create a new server class in the app MCP servers directory. The generated server class extends Laravel's MCP base, Laravel MCP server class, and provides properties for registering tools, resources, and prompts. The MCP server name, the version, server's instructions for the LM. Okay. The tools registered with this MCP server. The resources registered for this MCP server. The prompts registered with this MCP server. Okay. Server registration. Once you've created a server, you must register it in your routes.ai.php file to make it accessible. Laravel MCP provides two methods for registering servers. Web for HTTP accessible servers and local for command line servers. Oh, web servers. Web servers are the most common types of servers and are accessible via HTTP post requests, making them ideal for remote AI clients or web-based integrations. One moment. Okay. So we have an MCP web and then a URL, and that exposes the MCP server class. Just like normal routes, you may apply middleware to protect your web servers, like Throttle. Local servers. These run as artisan commands, perfect for building local AI assistant integrations like Laravel Boost. Register a local server using the local command or local method. Once registered, you should not typically need to manually run the MCP start artisan command yourself. Instead, configure your MCP client AI agent to start the server or use the MCP inspector. Tools enable your server to expose functionality that AI clients can call. What is the MCP inspector, by the way? The MCP inspector is an interactive tool for testing and debugging your MCP servers. Use it to connect to your server, verify authentication, and try out tools, resources, and prompts. This command launches the MCP inspector and provides the client settings that you may copy into your MCP client to ensure everything is configured correctly. If your web server is protected by an authentication middleware, make sure to include the required headers, such as an authorization bearer token when connecting. Okay. Okay. So we can define tools. Where are the tools? Current weather tool, extends tool, the tool description, the tool request, and how we handle it. The tool's input schema. To create a tool, run the make MCP tool artisan command. Okay. After creating a tool, register it with your server tools property. All right. Tool name, title, and description. By default, the tool's name and title are derived from the class name. For example, current weather tool will have a name of current weather and a title of current weather tool. You may customize these values by defining the tool's name and title properties. Tool descriptions are not automatically generated. You should always provide a meaningful description by defining a description property on your tool. The description is a critical part of the tool's metadata, as it helps AI models to understand when and how to use the tool effectively. Tool input schemas. Tools can define input schemas to specify what arguments they accept from AI clients. Use Laravel's JSON schema builder to define your tool's input requirements. Okay. It's like validation on your form. Output schemas. Tools can define output schemas to specify the structure on their responses. This enables better integration with AI clients that need parsable tool results. Use the output schema method to define your tool's output structure. Output schema. Okay, so it's just like this is just like input, but on their way out. Defines the type, description, and whether or not it's required. Validating tool arguments. JSON schema definitions provide a basic structure for tool arguments, but you may also want to enforce more complex validation rules. Laravel MCP integrates seamlessly with Laravel's validation features. You may validate incoming tool arguments with your tool's handle method. All right, okay. On validation failure, AI clients will act based on the error message you provide, such as, or as such, it is critical to sorry, it is critical to provide clear and actionable error messages. Tool dependency injection. The Laravel service container is used to resolve all tools. As a result, you are able to type hint any dependencies your tool may need in its constructor. The declared dependencies will automatically be resolved and injected into the tool's instance. All right. Oh, okay. So anything I can type hint anything that I need to pass into my tool, and it'll work because of the service container. Okay, all right. In addition to constructor injections, you may also type hint dependencies in your tool's handle method. The service container will automatically resolve and inject dependencies when the method is called. So I can type hint and inject dependencies on the constructor and the handle method as well, like this. Okay. Annotations. You may enhance your tools with annotations to provide additional metadata to AI clients. These annotations help AI models understand the tool's behavior and capabilities. Annotations are added to tools via attributes. Is idempotent, I don't know what that is, but sounds, you should see a doctor. And is read only. Sure. Is read only indicates the tool does not modify its environment. It's destructive indicates the tool may perform destructive updates, only meaningful when not read only. It's idempotent. It happens after 40. It's fine. Indicates repeated calls with same arguments have no additional effect. Okay, sorry, I was thinking of sometimes. Don't ignore that. Is open world. Indicates the tool may interact with external entities. All right. You may conditionally register tools at runtime by implementing the should register method in your tool class. This method allows you to determine whether a tool should be available based on application state, configuration, or request parameters. Okay. When a tool's should register method returns false, it will not appear in the list of available tools and cannot be invoked by AI clients. Makes sense. Responses. Tools must return an instance of MCP response. The response class provides several convenient methods for creating different types of responses. For simple text responses, use the text method, like so. To indicate an error occurred during execution, use the error method. Multiple content responses. Tools can return multiple pieces of content by returning an array of response instances. All right. Structured responses. Tools can return structured content using the structured method. This provides parsable data for AI clients while maintaining backward compatibility with JSON encoded text representation. Okay. If you need to provide custom text alongside structured content, use the with structured content method on the response factory. It's still not clear what's the difference between one and the other, but okay. It's like one is just text that the AI can read and understand, the other one is just JSON structured data. I guess it's, yeah, okay. For long-running operations or real-time data streaming, tools can return a generator for their handle method. This enables sending intermediate updates to the client before the final response. All right. So we have the generator there. We have the handle method, an array of locations. For each location as index location, yield a response notification, processing progress, current, total, location. Oh, it returns a generation. When we do yield, then we return an update and then a final response. Okay. Oh, this is for each. Oh, this was in the for each. Okay. Okay. Every time we do yield, that's like one returns the progress of that. Like, yeah, it's just returning partial data as it is processing. When using web-based servers, streaming responses automatically open an SSE server sent event stream, sending each yielded message as an event to the client. Very interesting. Prompts enable your server to share reusable prompts, templates that AI clients can use to interact with language models. They provide standardized way or a standardized way to structure common queries and interactions. To create a prompt, run the MCP prompt make MCP prompt artisan command. After creating a prompt, register it in your server's prompt property, like so. The prompt name, title, and description. By default, the prompt's name, title, names and the prompt's name and title are derived from the class name, just like we saw with, what was the other one? Tool. And we can change those with custom name and title properties. Same with descriptions. And the description, again, is a critical part of the prompt's metadata, and it helps AI models understand when and how to get the best use of the prompt. Prompt also have arguments. Prompts can define arguments that allow AI clients to customize the prompt template with specific values. Use the arguments method to define what arguments your prompt class accepts. We also have validation for prompt arguments with the validate feature. Prompts also have dependency injection. I think this is pretty clear already. Same with tools. And they also have the should register method to conditionally register prompts. They also have the same response schema. You can return multiple responses and probably structure responses as well. You can use the as assistant method to indicate that the response message should be treated as coming from an AI assistant, while regular messages are treated as user input. Okay. We also have resources, which enables your server to expose data and content that AI clients can read and use as context when interacting with language models. This is going way deeper than I thought it would be. I'm guessing this also works just like prompts and tools. Create with an artisan command, register it to the server, name, title, description. they have URI and MIME type. Each resource is identified by a unique URI and has an associated MIME type that helps AI clients understand the resource's format. By default, the resource's URI is generated based on the resource name. So weather guidelines resource will have a URI of weather resources, weather guidelines. The default MIME type is text plain. You may customize these values with URI and MIME type properties. All right. Requests. Unlike tools and prompts, resources cannot define input schemas and arguments. However, you can still interact with request object within your resource handle method. Okay. Dependency injection. This is the same as always. We can use it on the constructor or in the handle method of the resource. Annotations. Again, we can use properties like this. Attributes, not properties, sorry. We have audience, priority, and last modified. Those are the three attributes that we can have as annotations. And we also have conditional registration like the others. And responses as well. Metadata. Laravel MCP also supports the meta field as defined in the MCP specification, which is required by certain MCP clients or integrations. Metadata can be applied to all MCP primitives, including tools, resources, and prompts, as well as their responses. You can attach metadata to individual responses content using the withMeta method. Okay. For result level metadata that applies to the entire response envelope, wrap your response with the response make and call withMeta on the return response factory instance. To attach metadata as a tool, resource, or prompt itself, define a meta property on a class. All right. Authentication, just like rounds, you can authenticate the WebMCP server with middleware. I don't think I'm going to be using any of this just now. Passport. With agents authenticate. Okay, so whenever you're trying to authenticate, this is what you will see whenever you're trying to authenticate your tool with your AI client. Authorization, testing servers with the Spectre, unit tests, yada, 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 and that's it. Okay, so how about we try and create a simple MCP tool using Laravel MCP, and the only tool that we are going to expose is a database query that will give us daily active users. And we are going to connect that to the Laravel, not the Laravel, to Cloud Desktop as the client. Since I don't know how to do any of that just now, I'm going to try and vibe code it. All right. And we can work on the same project that is that we have right now. We just create a new, let's see. Let's create a new branch for this. All right, let's start with the prompt. Create a new MCP tool using Laravel's MCP, using Laravel MCP that will expose a single tool that can query the database and return daily active users for specific time frames. For example, how many active users did we have yesterday? Make sure to read Laravel's documentation about the MCP tool implementation and use all common Laravel standards. What else is necessary? Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. I am terrible at prompting. I know. Usually, usually Claude will come back with relevant questions if I missed something. So let's see. Also, let's put this in plan mode first. Let's see what happens. I'll help you create an MCP tool. This is kind of small, isn't it? There are no MCP related. Sure, go ahead. I'm starting to wonder if Laravel Boost is correctly installed in this project. I know it was in the composer, but actually, can you make sure Laravel Boost is properly installed and initialized for this project? Yeah, I don't think it is. Give me a sec. All right. User type. Should the MCP tool count only registered users with user ID or include anonymous sessions as well? Good question. Registered users. Timeframes. What timeframe or formats should the tool support for querying daily active users? Relative dates like yesterday, today, as last week. I want relative dates. I want specific dates, date ranges, and that's it. Should the tool return just the count or additional details? Count only, just return the number of daily active users. Count with breakdown, return count plus breakdown by device, new versus returning users. Just keep it simple for now and just the count. Submit your answers. Mainly what I'm looking forward to see in the plan is whether or not it aligns with all of the documentation I just read about MCPs. If I see that, yes, it is using um, the AI file for the responses for registering the AI server, sorry, the MCP server, whether or not the right classes are used um, for the tool class, whether or not it's using the handle method. All of the implementation kind of lines up with what I just read. That should be enough for me to say, yeah, it's gonna go well. And also, I don't know if I have to run this command, php artisan boost install, but I'm guessing I should. So I'm gonna just let it finish with the plan, I will quickly get out of this, run that command, and then go back in, and then resume. I don't think I actually need to get out of this to run that to, or that artisan command, but we'll see. It is taking its sweet, sweet time to create a plan. Excellent plan. What? Excellent plan. Okay, now let me create a final plan file to review any critical files before finalizing. All right, go ahead. Laravel MCP is already installed and I've confirmed the user session model structure. Now let me create the final implementation plan. All right, here we go. Let me read through this real quick. Here is Claude's plan. MCP Daily Active User Tool Implementation Plan. Objective: create a new MCP tool that queries the database for daily active users, registered only, using natural language timeframe inputs like yesterday, last 7 days, or specific dates. User requirements: count registered users only, support 3 timeframe formats, relative, specific, and ranges, return count only. Architecture overview: we have the app MCP server, analytics server, the tool, daily active users tool, and services, date range parser. We have the AI.php already lining up with everything we just read. We have a unit test. It's going to have tests. And we have a feature, MCP daily active user tool test. Implementation steps: create the database range parser service. The purpose is parse natural language dates inputs into carbon date ranges. Key methods: parse main parsing method, and returns objects with start date, end date is range. Parsing logic: relative single dates, relative ranges, specific dates. Implementation approach: normalize input, lowercase string, match patterns in order, validate dates, and return standardized date range DTO. Error handling: cannot parse input, future dates, or invalid range. Create analytics server. It's going to use the make. Yep, perfect. Like that already. Configuration: we have the server name, JobSig Analytics, server version, instructions, provide analytics and reporting tools for JobSig. We have the tools array with the tool that we are going to create, apparently. Create daily active users tool with this command with 2 annotations. We have a schema function with a string, the description, and it is required. Handler implementation. Date range app, date range parser class. we could, this is, okay, this here is something I don't like, because as we just read, we could just type hint the parser into the handle method, right? Because we have a service container or dependency injection. So there is no need for call the app. There is no need to call the app method here to instantiate that class using the service container to then use it. So we can just pass it into the handle method. So I'm gonna make that change in the plan, making a mental note. Handler, everything else looks fine. User session, query. This is part of a model that we have already created, so that's fine. It's just making a query to the user session where user ID is not null, and between the both ranges, start and end, distinct and count, and return a JSON result. Is this how we return results? Tool result? Let me check one sec. Creating input, output schemas, two responses. No, it's just response text, multiple content, structured. There should be a response structure, not two response JSON. That's, I don't know where that's coming from, but that has to change. Create the routes, register the MCP server with an AI.php. MCP local MCP server, studio standard. Okay, it's gonna be a local tool. All right, that's fine. Create the tests, start the MCP server to manual test it, implementation order, created files, success responses. All right. What did I say? Instead of using the app method to instantiate the, what was it called? Date range parser. Can you type that in English at least? Because I don't know what that is. And please don't use anything other than English in chat. Maybe Spanish too, because I understand it. But other than that, I don't know what that is. Haven't seen you in months. Yeah, I know. I haven't been on in months. Well, not on YouTube. I haven't been programming much on YouTube, but I do go live on Twitch and just I've been playing video games most of the time. So, what are you using to develop the system? I'm using Laravel, and yeah, basically just Laravel, and I'm using Cloud Code to vibe code it because I didn't know how to start So that gets me going at least. Instantiate the date range parser, simply type hinted into the handle method to let the service container handle the dependency injection. Also use response structured for the tool response. Yeah. Let me read that again. And nothing here changes. There's a command. Here's the input schema. I don't remember seeing this on the Make MCP tool. Let me check the documentation real quick. Creating tools. Is that what? Make MCP tool. Yes. Was there anything about schema here? Nope. See, I don't think it's using the documentation from Laravel. I wanted to I want to make sure that first all of the Laravel Boost tools are available because there is a tool specifically to access Laravel documentation on its latest form. I think there are aspects of the implementation of the implementation plan that are not according to the documentation that I just read. So I just want to make sure that those are uh, in sync. And it seems permission wet fetch out and I don't ask more. What the crap is that? I think we are having permission problems here. All right, you're starting to hallucinate. There is nothing that says that method has to be abstract. Nope. I'm pulling the plug for the time being. Give me a moment. Restarting this real quick. What do you want to install? Okay. That, all right. MCP server with 15 plus tools and AI guidelines for Laravel and inertia and more. That's it. Yeah. Which code editor do you want to use? Using Cloud Code and PHP Storm. Yes. Which AI needs which AI agents need AI guidelines for Laravel, Cloud Code, and Juni? We don't use Juni. If we get the same errors. Yes, you can read the plan. Laravel MCP tool. There you go. That's what I wanted to see. What? No results found. Huh. Okay. Look, push come to shove, I'll just have to manually add some things to the files if there is some weird hallucinations there, but for the most part, everything looked fine. Right, I think I already read this implementation, didn't spot anything weird. Yeah, it's just a date parser. That looks fine. Mm-hmm. Annotations. Mm, again, it's using tool result. Where are you getting tool result from? Abstract shows what? You being dumb, buddy. Oh my god, dude. It's not what I want to do. By the way, the handle doesn't take array arguments. Oh my god. This is not the implementation that I. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do because it's just doing stupid stuff. I have the documentation. I am going to. What are you doing? Did you just. Okay. I'm going to let it finish because there are parts of this code that I will be able to use. I'm not sure it's gonna work, but I can take the parts that work and just adjust that to the latest documentation, which I'm pretty sure this is not using for some reason. It's doing things that I don't think are up to date. But I'm just gonna let it finish with the entire implementation, and I'll just change the things that I need to change to make it in line with the documentation. I feel that that's faster and easier than me trying to argue with the AI, and it's going to start hallucinating stuff that is just going to make me lose time. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Let me guess, it's going to blow up on the tests. Okay, it's going. Let me read those tests real quick. Carbon set test now. After set test now. Parses today correctly. Yesterday. Last end days correctly. Just parsing the dates. Okay. Go ahead. Okay, let me read this real quick. Before each, you're setting the dates. User factory. User session. It's using app to create daily active user class. Calling the handle directly. I don't know if that's what I want. Mm. Yeah, it's way easier than whatever that is doing. I might modify those. I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah. I'll let you do it. They're not gonna pass, but I'll let you do it. I'll correct them later. Two issues. The yesterday helper doesn't exist. Okay. I don't know where you pulled that off, but sure. Committing all the changes. Okay. Just commit. I'll make the corrections later. All right. It is supposedly done. Can we do this? MCP start analytics, PHP artisan, MCP start analytics. Okay, nothing happens. Let's try the inspector instead. MCP inspector. What is happening? Oh, okay. What is this? Never used this before. Connect. Tools. Oh, there it is. How can I do this? Run tool, time frame. Oh, maybe I can use yesterday or yeah, yesterday. Run tool. Success. 4. Well, that worked. Haha. Okay. There are still some things that I want to change because it's not really using the latest documentation or implementation for everything. So I might go in and just change some stuff and hopefully it won't break. But as is, it's working fine. Now, here's the real test. I want to connect this with cloud, with Cloud Code, not Cloud Code, but Claude. It's really hard to say Claude. Claude. So I'm just gonna say Claudio. I want to connect this with Claudio Desktop and use it from there. But I don't know how to do that. Hmm. Let's ask Claude or Claudio how to do that. Get started. Let me just log in. Come on. It says loading eternally. Why are you still loading? Ah. Oh, now it's working. All right. That's stupid. There. All right. I just created an MCP server with one tool using Laravel MCP. How can I connect that tool into here? I don't know what I'm asking. It's just tell me what to do. To connect your Laravel MCP server cloud, so you'll need to configure it into your cloud desktop app. Here's how. On Ubuntu. I'm not on Ubuntu. I'm on Mac, dude. Mac OS, the config file location is different. Duh. Cloud desktop config. Here's how to set it up. Nano config .json. Azure Laravel MCP server configuration. Path to artisan MCP serve. Save the file. quit and reopen. Check for connection. MCP serve. Okay. Tip for macOS: if you're using a specific PHP version via Homebrew. No, I'm not. All right. Let's see if we can edit that file real quick. So, where is it? Library application support cloud. Can I open it here? File, open. It is in library. So it's in here. Then can't see the library. Okay, can't do that. All right, you can stop. Let's use Vim. Library. Application support Claude. Claude, what? Desktop. Let me just copy that. I know I'm gonna get it wrong. Okay, let's just do that. I think the file doesn't even exist. Okay, all right. Copy this. Paste it there. And this will be in users. Me. Why would you do that? And then job seek. No, heard. Job seek. Vendor bin artisan, right? Vendor bin artisan. And then MCP serve. Okay. Save that. Then close and open. And of course it didn't work. Not connect to MTPs in Laravel MCP. All right, let me check that again. Instead, configure your MCP client to start the server. Oh, it's MCP start. You dumb. You dummy. You dummy dum dum. Command PHP, then artisan MCP start. I think that's how it's done, right? All right, let's close it again. Reopen. Didn't work. Hmm. This command launches the MCP inspector and provides the client settings that you may copy into the MCP client and ensure everything is configured correctly. Okay. Is it in configuration? No. Connect. Resources. How do I where how what? I don't know how to use this tool. It says you can copy what did it say? Uh, uh, this command launches the MCP inspector and provides the client settings that you may copy into the MCP client. How? Oh, this is the command. Oh, okay. Command PHP 8.4 arguments MCP start analytics. Okay. One sec then. Uh, 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 Copy the command. Paste it. Oh, come on. Did I not copy it? Copy. Paste. There you go. And then arguments. Her users 2 to 1902. Her job seek artisan. Oh, it's not vendor bin. Artisan MCP start, and then one more. Ooh. Analytics. That should do it, right? I think. It didn't blow up. It didn't blow up. It didn't blow up. Okay. What is this? Where's the where how how where how where can I see the current MCP tools being used? Here. Oh, there it is. I can see the MCP tools currently available in this conversation by looking at the functions I have access to. Here are the Laravel MCP daily active users count. Okay, all right, okay. We're cooking. We are cooking. How many active users did we have yesterday? Should be 4, by the way. Claude wants to use the daily active users from Laravel MCP. Always allow. You had 4 active users. We are cooking, my friends. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, change some stuff in the code so that it looks more like the database, more like the Laravel 12 documentation. And come back and make sure that nothing broke. We still have about an hour. I think we can go in and change some stuff. But yeah, so far from here we can just start making tools, improving or adding more complex SQL queries, stuff like that. And also, if you don't want to use just SQL queries, you can do whatever the hell you want in your application. Give it access to anything that your application does, and then use that as a tool in Claude. That is awesome. File access, database access, APIs that you want to use in your application, whatever you want. Sky's the limit. Alrighty then. This was in app MCP servers, analytics, server name, server description, blah, 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 blah. Let me just check the documentation to make sure that this looks all right. Creating servers. See, protected string name. Let's change that to, instead of server name, we can just say, instead of public, make it protected. And change this to name. Make this protected version. And protected string instructions. Array tools is also protected. Why? What's going on here? Must be public. Really? Are you sure? Because it says protected. Really? Luther, hi, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Why would the documentation say, do I have the right version of Laravel MCP? Composer require Laravel MCP. This is for Laravel 12, yeah. Am I? Huh, huh. Now I'm curious. Where is Laravel MCP? Supposed to be already installed? That seems weird. Vendor Laravel filament. No, Laravel MCP. It's already there. I don't know what to think. Maybe, what if we do composer? What? No. Composer update. Oh, it's updating to version 0.3. So there is, I was maybe using an older version of it. Maybe. Oh, something happened. Use Laravel MCP server for setting. Oh, server not found. Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. That is in publishing, in the AI server, registration. Laravel MCP facades. Okay. Facades MCP. All right, so that is wrong now. So we go to ai.php. And we use Laravel MCP facades MCP. Laravel MCP facades. Yeah, like that. Okay. And let's run that again. Composer update. I guess it makes sense now that the implementation that Claude or Claudio was using did not align with the documentation because the installation or the installed MCP package was from a previous version, but it was using that version to generate all of the code. So it worked for that version, but the newer version has different implementation. So, okay. Makes sense. Now, we can start making some changes. For example, let's go to analytics. Let's go to the server again. Now the squiggly line is gone because the implementation for the instructions thingy, now everything is protected. It was public before, now everything is protected. Instructions is now protected. All right, cool. Cool bananas. We have daily. All right, let's work on the tools now. We have some stuff here that is wrong now because of the new implementation. So let's start with the description. Now, this is not a function anymore, it's a property. We need a property for the description. Let's go into tools. We need just a protected string description now. Okay, so I'm going to add that. Let's add it right here. Protected string description, and it's taking the same description as below. Well, not all of it. I'm gonna take this, go to the end, yoink, and paste it here. That did not work. Paste it here. That worked. Actually, kinda. There. All right, now we have the description. We can get rid of this. We don't need a schema now. Well, we do. JSON schema. Instead of tool input schema, we just use JSON schema.
Eduardo_GPG just followed. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much for following, Eduardo. You're amazing, dude. That is from Illuminate JSON schema, right? Let me just check the... No, it's from Illuminate contracts, JSON schema, JSON schema. What are you complaining about? Undefined namespace JSON schema? Are you sure? I'm just going to copy this line. I was probably typing it wrong. Yep. And public function JSON schema. And the function is still public, yes. I'm just gonna copy this here. Paste it. Oh, nope. Paste it there. And the return is actually an array. Like so. Why are you complaining here? Declaration must be compatible with tool schema. I'm guessing this tool is a different use. Oh, I went too far. Laravel MCP server tool. No, that's what I'm seeing here. Current tool schema, public function. Let me check that real quick. Oh, it's not contracts. It's JSON schema, JSON schema. Okay. What in God's name? All right, now it's self-complaining. I was using the wrong class there. Schema, JSON schema, array. And I just have to return an array in this case with a description. This will be time frame. And that'll be schema string. There you go. And then we chain the description. Like so. And we can get rid of this. All right. That looks more like the documentation. We have a time frame input, which is a natural language date or range, today, yesterday, last 7 days, etc., etc. And it is required. Okay. We are passing the date range parser into the construct, which is fine as parser. This is wrong. handle. We need to look at the handle method. We just take in a request and return a response. Laravel MCP request, I'm guessing. Yeah, MCP request, MCP response. All right, all right, all right. Handle request, response, and then how do we access? Oh, just request get instead of arguments. Like that. So we get the time frame from the request, then we do date range parser, parse the injected time frame, use the session model to query the database, and then return a JSON response. This changes because we need a response structured, I think. Was that creating tools? One sec. Tool responses, text, errors, more than one response, structured content. Structured. Structured. It's not giving me that. Not found in Laravel MCP response. Why? Hmm. There is no structure. Why? 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 There is a JSON thingy. You can use JSON. It's fine. I don't know why structure is not there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Ooh. Ooh, what's that? Deprecated? Internal. Awesome. Audio, image is error, notification, role, text. Hmm. Why is there no structured thingy? Well, that didn't want to go there. I'm worried. Mm. Also, this, why is the annotation not here? Annotations, annotations. Oh, it's because there's no. Okay. Now it's just a property? Yeah, it's just a. Okay. Tool dependency injection, that's fine. Annotations, that's fine. Conditional registration and responses. This is where I'm worried. For some reason, this Laravel response class does not have a structured output. If you need to provide custom text alongside with structured content? No. Hmm. Also, to result, not anymore. This is response error. With meta, audio, image, as assistant, is notification, is error role. There is no structured method. Why? What I'm tempted to do right now is I'm still worried that I'm using an either not as an older version as I was using before, but it's still an old version of this tool, which makes no sense because I am using Laravel 12, at least from my composer.json file. So what if I just uninstall and install Laravel MCP package? Would that fix the issue? I'm also using Laravel or PHP 8.4, but this is for, okay, no, it's just for 8.2 and higher. I'm using Laravel Framework 12, which is fine. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to composer, remove Laravel MCP. And then I'm doing, we'll do compose and install again. Oh, removal failed. Okay. It's required by another package. Who's requiring this? Oh, it's required by Boost. Okay. That did nothing. That did nothing. If all else fails, just restart. I don't know. No, that doesn't work. Mm. Generate? Maybe it's the idea thing? No. I don't know. Why does the documentation says that I have that available and the class does not have it? I don't understand. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna blow up if I try to use it now. In fact, let's try it. Let's try to use it right now. I'm gonna close this. And then believe it this is, I'm gonna stop this one too. And close this MCP inspector. Open it again. connected tools, list tools, active users, yesterday, run tool, all right, I'm gonna try something else. Composer, if Laravel Boost is the one that requires it, I'm going to remove Laravel Boost. Do you want to remove it? Yes. Okay. And it's also removing Laravel MCP. Now I'm going to do composer require Laravel MCP instead to get the latest version, hopefully 0.4, which is higher than, what was it? Yeah, 0.3.4. This is installed in 0.4. Now I can reinstall Laravel Boost as dev. And it's failing because MCP is okay. How about with -w for updates? Nope. Okay. Cool. 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 Can I install Laravel Boost globally? I know it's irrelevant, but okay, one thing at a time. Now that I've done that, this is still not looking well. Can I just close this file and open it again? It's still not working. Then close the editor. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Well, okay. It's a different error now. Response factory instead of response. Okay, documentation, help me. Handle generator? Oh, it's a generator now, but that's for, no, that's not what I'm looking for. How about now? Is it better now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Sorry. Might be the gain. How about this? Or maybe that I'm speaking like this, or this, or this, or this, which is something that I do sometimes. How you doing, Chikome-san? Seems like if I use response structured, the response type is different. It's supposed to be response factory instead of response. So if I go back here and I do response factory, Laravel MCP, the error goes away. Turn the gain up a little bit more. Okay. All right. So that takes care of that. And this is wrong now. Why? It's still expecting a response factory. Okay. So, okay. Response, let's do an OR. Response. No. Response. Not NCP response. So it can be either or. So this two will work too. All right. Question is, will it work now in the, what is this? Didn't open that. Will it work in the inspector now? Run the tool. Fail to fetch. Awesome. Why? Maybe I have to restart this as well. Let's see. Oh, it closed. Connect, tools, list, 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 list. Connection understand. What? It won't even connect now. List tools. We have an HTTP what? Oh, look at all of that. What is the error here? Uh, uh, uh. Happened to the music. Go ahead and play it. Play it. Play it. Where's the error? Unexpected end of JSON input. What? No, that's not the error. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna close that again. Close that. Open it again. No errors. Connect. Connected. Tools. List. Boom. That's a lot of errors. What is stack trace? Stack trace go all the way to the freaking top. Error from the end, JSON parse to serialize. Okay, that's not working. You know what? Okay. I'm not gonna fight this. I'm going to move to a text response and be done with it for now until I can figure out that structured thingy. So let's do this. X. No. Let's just return a response. Response text. And I think. Yeah, that works. The number of distinct register users who had active sessions during time frame is count. Let Claude handle that response. Why are you? Oh my God! Why? Contract scheme. Okay, back to what we had before. I hate you so much. Qualifier is necessary and can be removed. Okay, let's remove it then. All right, that's good. And no visible errors anymore. Can we try that again? Close it over here. Go back. Let me clear the screen just for a second. Inspector, gadget, connect, tools, list, active users, yesterday, run the tool, the number of distinct registered users is 4. Okay. Sorry. Back to working. I just have to figure out how to make it output JSON, so it's not really required. I can still go into Claude and ask the same question in natural language, and Claude is still going to give me a response. Let me see how the response looks like now. How many active users did we have yesterday? I'll check daily active users using the tool. You had 4 distinct registered users with the access session. Okay. Okay. Claude can take that, use natural language, interpret the response, the text response we gave, and give us a regurgitated answer, which is what I wanted, to be honest. I'll just have to go back and figure out. Maybe because this is maybe in a new project. I'll try that. I'll just try a new project. Maybe we'll do this on Friday. We'll try a new project. Maybe I'll come back with a better idea or an expanded idea for more tools. Maybe I'll try and figure out what other tool can we create and do that. Maybe I'll have less problems with the compatibility and the version of MCP and whether or not it's up to date with the documentation. Yeah. But it's working. We have an MCP. I can have my own MCP tools do whatever the heck I want and just use it. We can probably also, how about, there's one other thing that I want to learn how to use, and that is N8N. We can figure out a way to integrate the tool that I just created, but instead of using, I don't know if this is possible, but the idea in my head is instead of using Claudio Desktop, can I use Slack instead and have a dedicated channel that I can type in my questions about reporting stuff, and that will trigger an N8N. That'll be a trigger for a Slack chat that will then use the MCP tool alongside with Cloud Code and then return the response in a Slack chat. And then I can tell my boss, you want to know about reporting? Go to this channel, ask AI. Could be a nice pet project for Friday and maybe next week. All right, I have 40 minutes to spare. I was going for 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. I guess we did good progress. I learned some new shit, and that is always good. I am going to make a pause here. Also, the stream is going to end for YouTube now. I'm going to take a little break, maybe 2-3 minutes, go grab a snack, maybe. And then I'm going to continue on Twitch. If you want to stick around, and I'm going to play video games now. I'm going to go play Ark Raiders for the rest of the night. So if you want to stick around with me, hop over on Twitch if you're on YouTube. If not, thank you so much for watching. And I'll promise I'll try to do more programming stuff in the next few days, if possible. All right. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thank you, YouTube. I'll see you sometime in the future. Bye.